Did I just delete the first page, or how did I manage that? There it is. I don't know what I did. Okay. This is worksheet 7. You're going to need a graphing calculator because we're going to do binomial probability, and you're going to want a calculator for that. Basma, I love your little jacket. That's so cute. Are we good? All right. We're going to start out talking about Pascal's triangle today. This is the idea. Okay. Row 1. Okay. Actually, row 0 is 1. Row 1 is 1, 1. Row 2. Now, it always starts with a 1, and then you add the 2 diagonally above to get the next term, and it always ends with a 1. Okay? So row 3 starts with a 1. You add these, and you get a 3. You add these, and you get a 3, and it ends with a 1. Is everybody doing all right? Could someone shut the door, please? Row 4 would go 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Okay, let's do one more. Row 5 would go 1. Okay, tell me some things you see. There's 1s on all the outside. What else? The next diagonal goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes, this diagonal going this way, guys, right here. You add 2, add 3, add 4. Yes. You see that one? Okay. So there's all kinds of cool things going on. The important things you need to notice. Okay. Row 1 only has 1s, but row 2, the second number is. Row 3, the third number or second number is. Okay. So that tells you the row number as well. Now, feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about. Okay, we're going to talk about why we need to know this. If you do a plus b to the 0, what do you get? 1. If you do a plus b to the 1, you end up with 1a plus 1b, yes? Okay, a plus b squared, if we do that, we end up with a squared plus an ab and another ab and a b squared, so we end up with 1a squared plus 2ab plus 1b squared, yes? Okay. If we were to FOIL this and multiply it by another a plus b, okay, let me rewrite this. So I'm going to end up with an a plus b to the 3rd here. Everybody with me? I'm going to multiply all of this by a. I get a cubed plus 2a squared b plus an ab squared. Then I'm going to distribute the b through all this over here. And I am going to end up with an a squared b plus 2ab squared plus b cubed. So I just did FOIL 3 times. It was a pain in my neck, right? What did I wind up with when I combine like terms? I have an a cubed. Any more a squared b's? For a total of 3 a squared b's. What about a b squareds? And back here is a b cubed, right? Look what we just did. A plus b cubed is 1a cubed. Now watch the exponents, guys. Plus 3a squared b plus 3ab squared plus 1b cubed. So the next line, are you getting where these are going here? The coefficients, you see them, 1, 3, 3, 1. So this would be, okay, if we had a plus b to the fourth, you would wind up with 1a to the fourth plus the a's go down and the b's go up. So this 4 right here would be 4a cubed with 1b. This 6 would be what? A squared, b squared. Then back to a 4. We're down to 1a, but we're up to 3 b's. And then this last guy is b to the fifth. Fourth. Just kidding. Fourth. Okay, thanks. Please notice that the exponents here, this 3 a's and 1 b total to 4, right? This 2 a's and 2 b's total 4. This 1a and 3 b's totals 4, b to the fourth, b to the fourth. So everything has a 4 on the exponent, as long as you're doing a's and b's. It gets a little more complicated. All right, so if I were to write out this last one, starting here, I'd have an a to the fifth plus 5, what? A 4 and a b. Everybody good? Then I'd have 10 a3 b2 and a 10 a2 b3 and a 5 a b4 and b to the fifth. All right. If we only had to use a's and b's, we'd be golden. Okay. Unfortunately, instead of a, we might have a 3x there. And instead of b, we might have a negative 2y there. So it's going to get a little more complicated. On your green sheet, everybody has their green sheet that you get to use on the next quiz? On the green sheet, you are given the first, 3 or 4 rows of Pascal's triangle? 5 rows? Okay, so that's just going to be there for you to use. So you don't have to know how to do them. We're going to talk in a minute about how to find those. If you wanted to know the 15th row, there's a way to do it. Okay? Now, this being said, here's the patterns you should be noticing. All right, each expansion has n plus 1 terms. In other words, when we did to the fourth, we actually wound up with how many terms, guys? 5 terms, okay? The first term and the last term are just the first term to the fourth and the last term to the fourth in that row. Okay, in successive terms, the A is decreasing in power and the B is increasing. We noticed that. And the coefficients are, the sum of the exponents is n, so if we had a 4 and a 1 here, it added to the 5, etc., all the way across. This is a big one, guys. There's symmetry. Did you notice that? 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. It's always a pattern, okay? There's symmetry down the middle of the triangle. All right. We are going to skip straight to this question. Okay, we're going to take the third row of Pascal's triangle, which goes what? Okay. We don't have an A, we have a what? X. So this is going to be x to the third, x squared, x, and no x's. Everybody okay? But we don't have an A, we have a number. What is that number? 4. If we start at the back, there would be 4 to the third, 4 squared, 4, and no 4's, right? Or you could say there's none, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3 if you go from the front. All right, everything was positive. So now we just need to simplify. 1x cubed is just x cubed. Plus, got to do 3 times 4 here, which is 12x squared. This is 16 times 3, which is 48x. And anybody know 4 to the third? Okay. I don't know if that was a whole lot faster than foiling, but I had less of a chance of making a mistake and forgetting a term. I didn't have to combine like terms. Okay. It didn't hurt my head as much. Kind of fun. It feels like magic, right? All right. Let's try number 2. Number 2 says row 4. What does row 4 say? It should go 1, 4 and end with a 4, 1. What's in the middle? Okay. What is the first thing? We don't have an A, we have a 3x. So this is going to be 3x 4 times. And this one's going to be multiplied by 3x 3 times. Well, this is more realistic. They don't always have just a coefficient of 1. 3x twice, 3x once, and no 3x's, right? Okay. We're in luck. There's just a plus 1y. So this will be a y to the 4th. This one will have a y to the 3rd, y squared, y, and no y's. Everything was positive. So can somebody simplify that? Be careful. Yeah, remember we're doing 3 to the 4th there, right? So we get 81x to the 4th. Yeah, this is a 4 and 3 cubed. (108x cubed y). Okay. This one is a 6 and a 3 squared. This one is just 4 times 3 times x times y cubed. And a 1y to the 4th. Did I miss one? You right, Jared? Did I just write messy? You okay? Anybody else confused? I don't want to look. What just fell over? Just heard a whole bunch of papers go flying. All right. Now, we're in luck with this question because it doesn't have coefficients other than 1, but it does have what? A negative. Okay? Has a negative and it has a 6. Whoa. Okay. So, we're going to, what's the coefficients? Okay. I think this would be a really good time to tell you if you didn't have row 6, how to find those. What do you think? Okay. Yeah, but what if you didn't have row 5? Okay. What if I runted row 20 right now? There's a way to do that. Let me show you. Okay. The way to do that is to use the combination key on your calculator. All right. If you want row 6, it is 6 combinations of 0 will give you the first coefficient. 6 combinations of 1 will give you the second coefficient. 6 combinations of 2 will give you the third. It's, all right, so if you have your calculator, it's under math, arrow over to the probability menu, and it's number 3. If you, unless you have a color calculator, if you want 6C2, you have to type the 6, then go to the math key, over to the probability menu, choice 3, put in a 2. If you have a color calculator, it lets you type in the little boxes. Okay. Also, if you have a color calculator, there's a shortcut under alpha and window. There's a choice 8. Does somebody have a color? Did you find it? Did you find it? If you have a color, you can cheat. But otherwise, what was 6C2? 15, okay. 6C3, can you do that one? And you can go second enter, guys, and just change the number. 20. Then 6C4. Now, wait a minute. Picking 2 out of 6 is the same as not picking 4 out of 6. So these are the same. Remember, it was symmetric. Okay. 6C5, well, choosing 5 or leaving 1 out is the same difference. So this comes up 6. And if you're picking 6 out of 6, there's only one way you can do it. All right. So that's how to get those. So if I wanted to know the third term in row 15, could you figure that out? You'd say row 15, the third term, be careful. The third term is actually C what? 2. Okay, so if you wanted row 15, the third term, you would do this to find the first coefficient. All right, that being said, let's go back and finish this question. This is going to go 1m to the 6th, yes? Now, then it's going to have a 6, and it's going to have an m to the 5th, but it's also going to have a what? A negative 1n, which is going to make this negative an n. Did I lose anybody? The next term, the 15, would have an m to the 4th and a negative 1 n squared. What's going to happen when you square a negative 1? It's going to be back to positive 15m4n2. The next term would have 20. It would have m3 and negative 1n3. Well, what's negative 1 to the 3rd? Negative 1. So it's going to have negative 20 m3 n3. Do you notice the pattern yet? Yeah. Anytime there's a negative, it's with a minus b back there, it's going to go plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. Okay? What's the next one then? 15. Now what's happening to the m's? To 2, but the n is up to 4. And then be careful, what's the next one? I started to write plus. Minus 6 mn to the 5th, right? And then plus n to the 6th. And everyone understands why it came out positive, because a negative 1 to the 6th would be a positive 1. We okay? All right. I do hereby solemnly swear there will not be an n to the add anything to the 6th that you have to do all the way out, okay? Because I don't want to grade it. No, because it's just a long mess. But I will tell you, there is a question that says, find the 4th term only. And we're going to practice that in a minute. Before we do that, want to try this one real fast? One more, because it has a minus. Okay. If I were writing this out, I could do this. 5C0, 2a to the 5th. 5C1 times 2a to the 4th, negative 1b. And then that's supposed to be a 5. I could write 5C2 times 2a to the 3rd times negative 1b squared. But what if we have the 5th row already? Can we just jump to that? Okay. What's the 5th row? 1, 5, 10, 5, 1. Okay. Okay, thank you. I was just about to realize that we didn't have enough terms. All right. Now the first term gets a 2a this time 5 times, and then a 2a 4 times. and a 2a 3 times, a 2a twice, a 2a, and no 2a's. A negative 1b 5 times, a negative 1b 4 times, a negative 1b 3 times, a negative 1b 2 times, a negative 1b, and we're done. Okay, so are these really all going to be pluses when we're all said and done? It's going to go plus, minus, right? Okay. Remember, 2 to the 5th is 32a to the 5th. This is a 2 to the 4th times a 5 times a negative 1. A to the 4th b. No. Try the next one on your own, guys. We have a 10, a 2 to the 3rd, and a negative 1 squared. Make sure you put the negative in parentheses, or just realize in your head that negative 1 squared is 1. Make it plus 80? Yes. Okay. Yeah, the minuses will show up, yep, because of the negatives. Yep. Good question. All right, this one has a 10, a 2 squared, and a negative 1 to the 3rd, so it's going to show up as a negative, right? 40? Anybody? Did I get that right? A squared b to the 3rd. Okay. This one is going to be plus because negative 1 to the 4th is 1, and there's just a 5 and a 2, so that'll be 10. And negative 1 to the 5th is negative 1 b to the 5th, and you don't need the coefficient of 1, but I also didn't put a 5th on the quiz. The highest I went that you had to actually do one out was a 4th, but it was good practice. Okay. Now, besides that, they will sometimes ask you to find only a specific term. And there is a typo on the worksheet, so I need you to be paying attention here and fix this, because I messed this up when I typed it. It says, find the 4th term, and then they really only want the coefficient when you're done, of this sequence. Now, do you remember what we were just doing? Remember the first term would be 6C0? So the 4th term is actually 6C3. Got 0, 1, 2, 3. Everybody good? Use your fingers, okay? 6C3. And then what happens to the power of this guy? 5A. Okay. The first one has 6 of those, yes. Then what? 5, 4, 3. Okay. Then we got 2B back here. There's none on the first term. Then 1, 2, 3. Because these two exponent powers should total 6, right? All right. Now, there's a typo. Does anybody see? So we're 6C3 is 20. But does anybody see where I made my mistake down here? It's after this one. Yeah, this B should have a cubed. And then 20 times 125 times 8 is 20,000, but it should be A cubed, B cubed. Obviously, it was a mistake because when we're done, we should end up with a total of 6 on the exponents. Okay? I don't know how I missed that when I typed it. The actual answer said just find the coefficient. So the coefficient was just 20,000. Okay, we get to do one that's very similar to this, and then we'll try one that's not as similar. This one has very similar numbers. It says find the 4th term, and it's a power of 6. Okay, so again, it would go 6C0 is term 1, 6C1 is term 2, so term 3, term 4. We want the 4th term would be what? 6C3 would be the fourth term, times the A term, okay? The A term goes A to the 6th, A to the 5th, A to the 4th, A to the 3rd. Then the B term goes no B's, 1B, B squared, B to the 3rd. But what's B in our case? 5 to the 3rd. All right, so on your calculator, 6C3, I'm thinking it's 20 because it was on the last example, right? And then we have an x to the 3rd, and this guy is a 125. Too many people would just say the answer is 20. But you have to remember that B wasn't B, it was a 5, so you have to figure that all out. 2,500 maybe? Okay, so this is the fourth term, and the coefficient is what? Is just the 2,500. All right, ready to try another one? Okay, this one is phrased differently. It says, which term would have an A3 and a B5? Well, what had to come with an A3? It had to be a 3A to the 3rd, right? What had to come with that B to the 5th? So there was a 4B to the 5th. How many did we start with? Power of 8. So this is 8C. Okay. 8C0 would have gone with an A to the 8th, right? 8C1 would go to an A to the 7th. How are we doing? This is an A to the 8th, A to the 7th, A to the 6th, A to the 5th, A to the 4th, A to the 3rd. I got 5. Pain in the neck, right? Yes, yes, yes. All right. What is 8C5? This is a 3 to the 3rd A cubed, and this is a 4 to the 5th B to the 5th. So we end up with an A cubed B to the 5th with a very large coefficient. We need to multiply 56 by 3 to the 3rd and 4 to the 5th. Somebody just want to read me the digits? Is that what you're all getting? 1, 5, 2, 8. Okay. Thank you. And that was the coefficient that they wanted. Because in the direction it just said the coefficient. I think on the quiz I just put find the term. Okay. So that you could just do the whole term and it kind of made sense. All right. We're going to go back and do these in a minute so that we don't, well, you want to do one more or not? Just do this number 8. Why don't you try this number 8 on your own? I would just use the green sheet and write out the fourth row. Do I have it right? 14641? Okay. I see her. Do you know what we do next? Yep. Then what, Riley? Back here we have our b is negative 2y, right? So this one gets a negative 2y to the fourth. This one gets a negative 2y to the third. I'm going to put plus, but in the end, they're going to be every other one minus when we do that negative 2. This negative 2, when I square it, will become positive, so I wrote a plus out there. Is the first one 256? Okay. I know you want to cry a little bit, but can you imagine foiling that all out and trying to collect all the like terms together and figure out if you got it right or not? I feel pretty confident that we got this right, yes? Anybody getting something different? I I will tell you, yes. This one? Yep. Did I miss anything else? Okay, sorry about that. Thank you for checking me, Camden. Um, I'll tell you this. I don't think I put it to the power of 4 on the quiz unless you have to do the retake. And then if you have to do the retake, I think I was mean and put a 4. Okay. I think on the first version, I just put a 3. All right. Now, the second thing we're going to do with this is talk about what's called binomial probability. Binomial probability, guys, is when there's 2. Bi means 2, yes? When there's only 2 outcomes. For example, when I shoot a free throw, I either make it or I don't, yes? When I flip a coin, I either get heads or tails, okay? When I have a child, it's either a boy or a girl, unless it's triplets. Okay, so we're going to go with this idea, and you may want to write this down, okay? It's on your green sheet, and it explains what they are, but I just want to talk you through this. When we try something, n is going to be the number of trials that we do, and then we're going to do Cx is going to be the number of successes we have. And then it's times P is the probability of success. If it's flip a coin, it's half. It's half you succeed, half you fail, right? If you want heads. But if you are shooting a basket and you know that your rate of success is say 70%, then your rate of failure would be 30%. Okay, so it can be based on an experimental probability. So to the x again, times q, which is your probability of failure, and that is to the n minus x power. Now, I'm going to show you a shortcut on the calculator in a minute, but first I want to do one using this idea. It is on the back of the green sheet at the top, okay? At the top it explains this, but it also shows you what button to use on the calculator. Do you see over there it says Binomial PDF? We're going to do that in a minute so that we don't have to memorize this or use this ever. But that being said, I'm going to go straight to number 9 on your sheet. What can you pull out of here? Can you tell me anything? The probability of success is 0.7. What's the probability of failure then, guys? 0.3. Okay, that seem all right? What else can you pull out of that question for me? How many trials are we doing? And how many times are we hoping to succeed? All right, so what would that look like if we wrote it the way I just said? Would be, what goes in front of this? 18, and we want 14 successes. So we're going to multiply that 18C14 by the number of the probability of success 14 times, and the probability of failure, or we want to fail how many times exactly? 4 times. So this is success to the number of successes, failures to the number of failures. Does that make sense? Okay. So type that in. It's a hot mess. And then I'm going to show you how to do a shortcut. Anybody get that? 0.168? No? Yes? Okay. Sorry. Let me write it down first. Or about the probability of us hitting the fairway on exactly 14 of the 18 is about 16.8%. All right. The shortcut that you're all wanting to know. It's under second and the vars key. Please do this. Do not come up during the test and ask me, where do you find that button? Okay. Second vars. We are looking for binomial probability. You got to scroll down until you find binomial probability. And we're going to use the PDF because we're finding the probability of a single event here, exactly 14 times. Now, if you have the new operating system, it says how many trials, and you put in 18. P stands for probability of success, so you put in 0.7, or you could put a fraction there if it gave you a fraction, okay? And the X is the number of successes, and we're putting in 14. You hit enter, and it gives you the decimal. Now, if you were doing, hang on, I gotta get my cursor here. I don't know why it isn't working. If you have the older calculator, guys, you will want to write this down. It's binomial PDF, and it brings up the parenthesis. Shoot, if I can move this. Okay. There we go. And it is the number of trials, comma, the probability of success, comma, the number of successes. Does that make sense? So you know how to do that on the older calculator? All right, let's try the next one. Number 10 says you're a substitute teacher and you only get work 32% of the time in this certain school district, what's the chance you get to work 3 out of the next 4 Fridays? So if you either work or you don't, do you understand why it's binomial? Because there's either success or fail. You either work or you don't. Okay. How many trials? 4. Probability of working or succeeding? How many times do we want to succeed? 0 what? 8. So about 9% of the time you would work exactly 3 out of the next 4. Okay, I only have a couple minutes left, but please listen because we have a more complicated question next. Okay, this says a player misses 3 out of every 8 attempts. If the player attempts 5, what's the probability that he misses no more than 2 times? I hate this question because it does 2 things. It talks about missing and this no more than 2, okay? Shall we go with we want him to miss or we want him to make it? Okay, so if we're going to talk about success as making it, what is his success rate? 5 out of 8. Everybody okay? This is his success if we want him to make it. How many is he attempting? 5. Okay. Now, we got to think this through. He misses no more than 2. So he's got to make, out of 8, he's got to make 8, right? No, wait, he's only attempting 5. Sorry. He's got to make all 5, or he could make 4, and he could make 3, and then he would miss no more than 2, right? So we need to find the probability that he makes 5, 4, or 3 and add them together. So we're going to do 5, 5/8, 5, that he makes all 5, 5, 5/8, 4, and 5, 5/8, 3, and add those probabilities together. Now, there are other ways to do this question. Yes. If you really want to know, take stats, okay? Because you can use that CDF, it means combined probability, but it gets really confusing because what it does is add the number of successes on down. So sometimes you have to do 1 minus that number, and for the one question you're going to have in a quiz for this class, you would be better off to just add them up, okay? Anybody get an answer yet? What'd you get? 5? Okay. So about 72% chance that he misses no more than twice out of the next 5. All right. That's complicated, and I'm not even sure there's one at all on the quiz like that. I think the one on the quiz is more like number 9, okay? It's 4, not 5, depending how you, yeah. Well, if you round it along the way or not, I gotcha. I think it's a multiple choice question on the quiz. All right, guys, so what you need to be working on is worksheet 9A, which is where I put all the book of problems I want you to do, and 10A.